Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Dawn Melanie. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of my series, Managing Self. A couple of weeks ago, I celebrated Thanksgiving Day, followed by the celebration of my 45th birthday that Friday. Basically, I'm entering the 20th year of my journey with my dealing with multiple sclerosis, my MS, and today, December 12th, 2017, I was kind of reflecting, you may say, but I was kind of had this uncanny desire to really look at the upcoming Christmas holiday. When I say look at it, I mean not just what I want for Christmas, but also why. Okay, a little strange, but I actually remember each and every gift that I received for my birthday and also Christmas from ages 3 to age 21, adulthood. Actually, the gifts that I received from my mom and dad. My friend Mary, she actually calls me Rain Man because I remembered this. I also remember telephone numbers, like everybody's number. I remember Super Bowls, who played in what Super Bowl, what year, the location, things like that. But the Christmas gifts were, as a kid, that's what we lived for, Christmas. I was 3 years old. I remember I got an inchworm. It was like before I had a big wheel. When I was 4, I got a Mr. Bingle's snow cone machine. That was important because, I grew up in New Orleans, and I was like, hey, I got a mini snowball machine as far as I was concerned. I even remember charging my dad to get a snow cone when he came home from work. When I was 5 years old, I got my first brand new bicycle. It was important because it was my first brand new bicycle, and wasn't a used one like my first one. But this one had the white weave basket on there with the sunflowers on it. Pretty much every little girl's dream. I got Teddy when I was 6 years old. He's currently in my guest bedroom. He's 39 years old. He's doing great. I got pinball machines when I was 7, tabletop, and I get the full-size version, a real one. I got a real one when I was in high school, but I got the tabletop when I was 7. I got an easy bake oven when I was 8, and that was before any idea of infrared cooking, but I was cooking with a light bulb, and I was quite happy. Also, I think it kind of spurred my my passion for food and for cooking. 9 years old, I got my first of many keyboards, very small version, maybe about 1.5 feet, much smaller than the organ that my dad had purchased because I was in the mall. It's like, Daddy, I want that, and he bought us an organ. So, I thought my keyboard was better because it was cute, whatever, kids, right? 10 years old, I got a Pac-Man video game, a tabletop version, which was just a miniature size of the arcade game. That was cool. And 11 years old, I guess I graduated to more adult stuff, I consider. I got my first personal computer. It was a Atom computer, which was actually a expansion module of a ColecoVision video gaming system. And that was important because I was 11 years old. I got a computer, and I taught myself Microsoft Basic, the DOS commands and things like that. Before there was any pictures that we would click on to get tasks performed, like cut and paste, and we had to actually write the language, and it kind of sort of gave me a foundation for later in my graduate school, I got my MBA with a concentration in management information system. So, in graduate school, I had to learn Java, C++, database, all that sort of stuff like that. So that was important to me. 14 years old, I got my first boombox, dual cassette, which, in 1986, that was pretty important, pretty cool. And actually, it was before my first Sony Walkman. 15, I got an electric shaver, and I got a bottle of Obsession perfume, not the cheap stuff. I got real Calvin Klein Obsession. 16, super important. My first car. It was my first car. It was a new, used car. I'm talking no AM, no frills. It was just a basic car. It didn't have any AM radio. Didn't even have a cassette player. Satellite radio, GPS. No, it was just a car. In my, I guess college, there's different things like that. But my 21st birthday, my senior year in college, in my undergrad, I got mom and dad got me a new bike. And again, I was thinking, well, this is a nice bike, but I want it more. I thought, the more gadgets on it, the better. The more electronics, the better. So I went ahead and upgraded with I made a purchase for myself. I upgraded to I remember, like a Specialized bike with dual suspension and, rock shocks, all that stuff, headlight, tail light, speedometer, odometer, just basically bells and whistles. Because I thought, again, ever since I was a kid, I thought that I need these tangible, physical items to, these physical, tangible items equated to better. So all of those wonderful, memorable, tangible gifts that I received, were any of those truly a favorite of mine? Okay, I at the time of receipt, I'm sure I thought that each one at that time carried the title. This is my favorite. This is the best thing I've ever received as a gift. But, I think about it and I go, was it long lasting? Hardly. Ephemeral at best. Ephemeral meaning short lived, just a very short term. So, they were just in that moment of time, but they didn't, I guess, endure the test of time. Everything else I got from my mama, the intangibles, were long lasting. I used them throughout my developmental years, through elementary school, through high school, college, postgraduate school, even through my professional career. Basically, life lessons. But these are things that I use and still use today on a day-to-day basis. My mom, she's the one who instilled in me to do the right thing. Don't lie, don't steal, treat others with respect. She also helped me to appreciate, to become aware of my passion for food and develop a strong culinary palate, and of course to cook. Sometimes some people say, now you're cooking with grease. Well, I don't really cook with grease. In fact, I don't even fry any foods. Aside from the health reasons, basically, minimizing the intake of my saturated fats like that, which I try to focus on a healthier diet. But aside from that, I do have a real fear of having a bad accident, a bad grease accident, with my MS. MS, tremors, hot grease. I think you get the picture. That's why I have the fear. Okay, so not just these things that my mom taught me, but today I guess I want to specifically talk about the basics that she actually taught me growing up. Walking. She taught me how to walk. Potty training. Fire danger. Don't play with fire. Listen to people. Look them in the eye when speaking to them. Don't fidget with your hand during conversation. It's distracting to the person who's you're having the conversation with. All these are signs of respect that she wanted me to appreciate and to, I guess, go forward into the world as a growing young woman. So, you know, pretty much my mom taught me, I guess, those good habits or those basics. And my modus operandi is the same as my show is titled, Managing My Multiple Sclerosis. You know, I do that through the elements that I consider key elements to a successful management of my multiple sclerosis. Those elements are food, family, friends, fitness, and fun. You know, I don't have a predetermined hierarchical order that I use these elements. They all kind of come into play at any given moment accordingly. But you know, I just want to point out to each of you to remember that each case of MS is unique and dynamic. So the symptoms are likely to change, and symptoms are pretty much inevitable to come and to go, and unfortunately, and perhaps even come back. And all this being said, remember, it's unpredictable. The severity of how MS affects each of us, it's unpredictable. The frequency of how MS affects us, it's unpredictable. So today, my mom's words echoed in my ears. Well, not so much in my ears, but in my brain. Definitely, I could hear. I could feel her telling me or advising me today. Not so much the direct references to my ability or my inability to go potty, or how to walk, or how to talk, or even how to hold a fork. These things that you teach a toddler when they're growing up. But more so, my mom's words are indirect teachings. Let me ask, is that a common thing? Do I just hear my mom telling me things day to day? Not really, but today, I guess I kind of saw that manifest because today I had my 6-month follow-up with my neurologist, and he asked me a hard question that's usually an easy question for me. He asked me, has there been any changes? Usually my response is no changes, no change of symptoms, no dizziness, no different senses lost or heightened, and definitely no falls. But today, I had to tell him. I had to tell it. Yes, I told it, and I told it begrudgingly, of course. I looked him square in the eyes, just like my mom had taught me, and I honestly said, yes, I had a fall. I fell backwards. I didn't feel my legs. And at the time, I more or less had no control over them. Basically, I had the old MS spaghetti legs. So I let it be said. My doctor, he wasn't surprised, and not because he expected that of me, because I had been stable for over 7 years, no change or progression, no new lesions on my brain detected. So he kind of expected that, because actually, I guess a couple of minutes before that, he was doing the, I don't know, call it the, the rudimentary examinations. Follow my finger with your eyes, touch your nose with your finger, things like that. Squeeze my hand, lift up your leg with resistance, and he had just assessed that there was some weakness in my left hip. I gave that strength test my all, which I pretty much always do, and I like to think I'm pretty strong. So I gave it my all. Like, yeah, lift it up. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do this. But he detected the weakness in there, and I was kind of bummed. My husband was sitting right there, and I was like, oh man, I didn't do good, because I felt like I wasn't awarded the gold star for that test. A little bummed out, but I listened attentively to him, and I continued to engage in productive two-way communication and respected his professional opinion. And I'm pleased to say that I think he equally respected my opinion. So expecting him to go ahead and submit orders for brain MRIs with and without contrast, just like he has in the past, I guess, 16 semi-annual MRIs that I had performed at the location. Um, I was slightly taken aback with what he said next, and yeah, I was taken aback. He said, well, your brain MRIs have been consistently stable, so I'm going to submit orders for a spinal MRI. Okay, yeah, I pulled up my big girl panties, so to speak. Um, I'm not claustrophobic about the MRIs, and I get a good nap in every MRI, which I've ever been in for, like I said, over about 20 years now. So that wasn't a problem, but it was just kind of a wake up call, or just I look at the whole experience as a reminder of that I do have MS. Then he said he'd write a script for physical therapy. We left the idea on the table. You know, I'm sure I'll use it. Again, kind of slightly bummed. Um, you know, I voluntarily reminded him that yeah, I did do physical therapy for my walking when I had challenges in 2010. I had drop foot on my left side, so my left foot was like, boom, boom, boom. And on my right side, I couldn't pivot my right foot, so I couldn't even drive with my right foot. So I was, right foot, can't pivot, left foot, drop foot, the cane. I was, you know, no, at the time, no one said, hey, you don't look sick. That was one good thing. But at that time when I had the walking challenges, my late husband, he was working out of the state, and my mom was my personal chauffeur, taking me to the gym and wherever I needed to go. And I did the physical therapy, and I can attest to the fact that I did benefit from it. Just the simple understanding and appreciation of learning to walk. Yeah, I said learning to walk again. And now I've never hesitated to share why I walk at the gym. I'll go to the gym and I walk about 3 to 5 miles. And people say, why? Why do you walk so much? I said, well, if you notice, I'm not running, I'm not jogging, I'm just walking. And I'll tell them my story. I'll tell them why. I say I'm practicing walking, and that's humbling, not a problem at all. But I think it's important to kind of get that out to people who, again, you look so well or you don't look sick. So that's an example that I can share with others. So I left his office, scheduled my next 3 appointments, a monthly infusion, that MRI, and a follow-up visit with him. This time, 2 months instead of 6, so that we can discuss the findings. And also, I had blood work drawn for some tests. Just the basics: vitamin D levels, complete blood counts, things like that. Liver tests and things like that. So after that, my husband, he took me to my favorite taco place in the Metroplex area, and just before arriving home, he says his truck maneuvered to our favorite bakery. He said he didn't have a hand in it, but I guess I want to point out that here's one of those elements that I talked about, how I use to manage my MS, and it's people who are close to me who want me to have a good existence with MS. Here he is bringing in food, my feel good element, food, things that I like, food, family, my husband, food, family, fun. Here it goes again. Now, although I was relieved of driving duty today, I did get exhausted. And pardon me, the sunlight exposure wiped my energy. Therefore, instead of getting my 5 days in the gym this week, I'll at max get 4, because I passed on my gym visit for today. It's okay. I'll hit it tomorrow. With MS, we have to be flexible. There's no any rigid schedules that I have to conform to. I'd say aside from my infusion appointment, but other than that, I'm pretty flexible. And if I feel like doing it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't. So the break time yesterday, or yeah, well today the break time is actually fine because it gave me time to figure out my plan of attack for tomorrow, my workout regimen. Basically, with the doctor's comment about my left hip being a little weaker than my right, I'm gonna write up a workout program for tomorrow, which will focus on hip and leg strengthening exercises. Manually operated, battery operated, electric, gas powered. Every Christmas gift I received, like I said, at the time of receipt, it was perfect in my eyes at the time. But the most important one ever that I received was the gift of life from God. I so wholeheartedly agree with Voltaire, the quote that he said, God gave us the gift of life, and it is up to us to give ourselves the gift of living well. You may ask, well, how do I interpret living well? Me personally, I interpret it to mean being happy. And I choose to be happy. I choose to be happy every single day. Repetition generally leads to habits. You may have heard me say plenty of times, my glass is never half empty. It's always half full. And yes, I do appreciate the negatives, even with MS. I could have been bummed out when I received my MS diagnosis, March 1999. But I like to look at it as MS has helped me. I like to look at the positives that have evolved from my MS diagnosis. It's helped me to kind of hone in on the gifts and talents that I do possess, and to encourage others to actually be the best version of themselves that they could be. Again, we're all unique, so I'm good at something that you may not be good at, and vice versa. But I encourage other people to go with and really explore and develop what you're good at. Despite battling this unpredictable chronic illness. Now, diamonds are a girl's best friend. Definitely, I'd say pretty much one of my best friends. No doubt. I'm a girl. Early on, I've said MS has been good. It's been a good thing for me. And I think MS has been kind of precious to me. Precious, similar to the fact that we consider diamonds a precious gemstone. I think my MS is precious to me as the diamond that my husband actually gave me, when he proposed to me. Is my MS, or let's go, I'll go the other way analogy. Is the diamond that I received from my husband perfect? Nope. Is it flawed? Slightly. Is it ephemeral? Gotta say no. As diamonds are the hardest substance on the earth, so I don't think it's short-lived. I think it's pretty long-lasting. Another question, I guess, with diamonds is, are any two diamonds the exact same? Nope. Each diamond, each stone is, like its owner, it's endowed with a personality and character uniquely its own. Similar to me and to you, each of you with MS, if you're listening, we're all unique. So, my MS is, like I said, is not perfect. There's good, there's bad. It's, there's flaws there. But, it's chronic. Chronic means, a long disease. It's not acute. It's not like just one instance, but this is an illness that, well, there is no end. There is no cure for MS. So we're, at best, we can manage it to have a healthier lifestyle, or as I say, a stress less lifestyle. Never a stress-free, but a stress-less lifestyle. So, like my diamond that I wear every day, my MS, it's precious. Okay, you're probably saying, did I just say MS is precious? Yeah, I did. You know, precious in the sense of there's value. Like I said, there's value with MS. There's value with my diamond, and I recognize that. MS has taught me to understand more of who I am, and again, to be the best me that I can be. Not only be the best me that I can be, but to perhaps encourage others to be the best that they can be. Really, I guess, really focus on what's important and not to focus on what's not important. What's important is for me to live a healthy life, again, stress less. And so having MS, I've had to deal with, relationships with people and situations that, I've learned to weed out those toxic situations that are stressors and not doing any benefit for my life. So this is just one example of how MS has helped me, and I consider it valuable. So there you have it. The toys, the bikes, the keyboards, my first car, all totally appreciated. My mom's wisdom and advice, priceless. The love for my husband, priceless. His symbolic gift of his love that I cherish, that I wear daily, 24/7. I cherish his gift. But I do understand that gift, it's tangible. And, I continue to give myself the ultimate gift. And that ultimate gift is living well. And unlike the toys, keyboards and things like that, when I was younger, I thought, oh boy, I hope it doesn't require batteries because the good toys are battery operated. I got as a teenager, the really good toys required electricity. And well, as an adult, of course, they require gasoline because there were cars and things like that. But all those things I've learned, those aren't the ultimate gift. And I continue to give myself the ultimate gift. And that's the gift of living well. No batteries required. This is Dawn Melanie, and I thank you for listening, and I hope you found some encouragement in today's broadcast. And before I conclude, I want to leave you with a quote from the Dalai Lama. He said, "Remember to take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup." Again, this is Dawn Melanie with Managing Self. Have a good day.